Hello everyone. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the video I just did about a gentleman named Russell Vane the Fourth, who is accused of trying to um, do some type of entrapment hoax on a Virginia-based militia. And if you haven't watched that video, go watch that now, or this one isn't going to make sense to you. But I want to bring up what we found on this guy's background before it disappears. So this is a this comes from Ford Fisher News to Share from earlier today. They talked about Russell Richardson Vane IV reaching out to a Virginia-based militia called the Kekoas in April of 2022. And we talked about that guy possibly, he was claiming to be somebody who worked for the clowns in America. You can see him pictured here. He was engaging in what seemed to be provocative behavior, trying to provoke people to engage in basically illegal activity. So go watch my 40-minute long video on that, which I put up on my Rumble. But I want to give some background of what we found on this guy. This comes from pubsonline.infoforms.com or .org, I apologize, informs.org. Smarter Decisions for a Better World, the Institute for Operations Research and the Management Sciences. His page has been scrubbed, so just want to document this stuff now because I have a feeling they're going to be scrubbing all of this and you're not going to be able to find it. This comes from the digital library, Russell Richardson Vane, General Dynamics Mission Systems Inc. and George Mason University. George Mason, of course. Yeah, and General Dynamics glows like the sun. And look here, most frequent co-author is a clown from the MITRE Corporation. MITRE, whatever. In any case, it is a CIA cutout that advises the government. Most cited colleagues, somebody from General Dynamics, Enterprise Computing, Decision Theory. Okay, so you can see here, Stochastic Games. Now that is important because stochastic T is something that is frequently brought up by these so-called DT experts. Algorithmic game theory mechanisms design, enterprise computing, HyperGame Theory, game theory, decision theory. This is all, look at his articles here. Planning for T-caused emergencies. Russell R. Vane, December 2005, Proceedings of the 37th Conference on Winter Simulation, Agent-Based Simulation of Geopolitical Conflict, July of 2004, using hypergames to increase plan payoff and reduce risk. Using hypergames to select plans in competitive environments. Some of this stuff goes back to 2000, some of it goes back to the 80s. Now, some of this could be his father. It should be noted that they just added this part. So he's the fourth, according to Ford Fisher, but this could be his father. Russell Richardson Vane III is an American game designer and anti-T expert from Virginia who has worked as a senior researcher for General Dynamics. He should not be confused with Russell Richardson Vane IV, his son, apparently, who has also worked in the game industry and taught game theory. Now, they have a game here, the Arab-Israeli Wars, tank battles in the Middle East. Very interesting if they created that. Very bizarre. Now, moving on. This comes from USAWC.org, and it just says Russ Vane, DDE 19. So this has something to do with something that occurred in 2019, but it identifies him as working for CISA. I work for Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and am the second chair for analytics on the CISA support team to FEMA and HHS for Region 1, the New England states. I work with the physical security analysts to highlight impending shortfalls in capacity. I also support on-the-fly modeling to look over the horizon at the next wave in this campaign. My normal job is future planner at the National Risk Management Center in CISA. I've been attached as of March 27 to support FEMA Region 1 C19 response as a virtual analyst for our infrastructure protection team. Their titles are physical security analyst, and there is one for each state with a small leadership element near Boston. Recently, FEMA stood up a new section, Region 1 Data Analytics Section, a team of 9 with 2 liaison officers, one from Health and Human Services and one from CISA, me. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is performing most of the modeling, 3 of the 9. 3 are FEMA analysts, and they have a process improvement person serving to help us capture lessons learned. This team considers numerous inputs to calculate hospitalization, ventilator needs, and PPE needs on a daily basis. It's a lot of smart, knowledgeable, hardworking people. No one wants to run out of anything, but as you know, we over-allocate at others' peril. So he says, my job is to help people understand that precision isn't accuracy. Very interesting. So that was from distance class of 2019, seminar 20 from Dr. Russ Vane III. Again, is this the father here? And moving on to this page coming from ResearchGatenet. This is crazy. So, divergent and convergent reasoning and intelligence analysis, a self-reconciling evidential database, September 2018. User experience adjustment and controllable events, October 2014. System and method for optimizing teams, April 2014. Hypothesis testing and biological cartographic virtual world, that's January of 2009. Planning for T-caused emergencies, January of 2006. Paper provides a framework for assessing hypothesized/simulated emergencies in order to provide quick protection for the populace and infrastructure, and also to protect first responders. These challenges, the need to respond quickly and safely, are the focus for how we must sense, represent, and act upon these progressively revealed events. Progressively revealed events. That's how they are talking about DTs. So, in DT events, very disturbing indeed. Cognitive automation involves many AI hard problems, January 2006. Advances in HyperGame Theory. The article reprises findings from HyperGame Work Advances doctoral dissertation, which comes from the year 2000, that are directly applicable to decision theoretic DT and game theoretic GT, or simply DT-GT agents. HyperGame theory meets many of the methodological requirements for bounded rationality agent research. Blah, blah, blah. Neosymbiosis. How humans and software benefit from multi-agent cognitive prosthesis. That's concerning. January 2006. Planning for T-caused emergencies, January 2005. Urban Sunrise, this is concerning, February 2004. The report describes research performed to explore the potential to enhance military urban operations planning and execution by providing new civil intelligence preparation analysis and effects-based operations planning capabilities to the urban warfighters and occupying civil administrations. Agent-based simulation of geopolitical conflict, January 2004. Using HyperGame to increase planned payoff, reduce risk, merging AI and game theory and multi-agent planning. This is from October of 1990, guys. That's how far back this guy was covering AI and AI agents. It's wild. This is from 1988. Divergent, convergent reasoning and intelligence analysis, self-reconciling evidential database, and then HyperGame theory for DT, GT agents. Now, moving on. This comes from Computer Science Bibliography, Russell Vane III, and you've got the links there to some of these publications. Again, this is wild. Now, this is hypergaming. Russell Vane. Wargaming with a deep knowledge of hypergame theory, which is wargaming, hypergame theory is WHT acronym, is very effective in guiding tabletop exercises. Didn't we have a tabletop exercise for C19 too? Yeah, I think we did. And we also had one prior to 9/11. There was a tabletop exercise called like Winter or something or other. But in any case, it seems like this is weird. Just saying. Using subject matter experts as players, I have found that human knowledge workers are the subject matter experts are more capable of being redirected dynamically than simulation software. WHT is a powerful way to evaluate a situationally derived decision landscape and prevent surprise. For the United States, which often has a number of favorably valued choices, preventing surprise leads to highly valued outcomes. The chapter is a very short introduction to game theory, then discusses what hypergame theory is and a step-by-step example applying WHT to the First Gulf War. Absolutely insane stuff here. Okay, so, and then continuing on, the last thing I wanted to bring up, he is one of the authors on this paper, and it comes from the MITRE Corporation, September 2000. This was prior to 9/11, asymmetric wargaming toward a game theoretic perspective. As we enter the 21st century, the art and practice of warfare is radically changing. The U.S. has emerged as the dominant conventional military power, only to find its adversaries working their way out of the box. DARPA, which is seeking new approaches to asymmetric threat modeling, analysis, and prediction, sponsored this work, as well as several related research efforts during fiscal year 2000. This paper enumerates some of the main features of the asymmetric environment and summarizes shortfalls in our current wargame technology. It is argued that contemporary developments in game theory provide a flexible, promising framework in which to efficiently model adversary motivation and to generate representative asymmetric strategies for improved automation of behaviors and simulations, and to support information operations analysis and planning, genetic programming, yes, you read that correctly, and reinforcement learning are suggested approaches for extraction and refinement of multiplayer models from historic data. DARPA, under the guidance of Larry Willis, Wargaming, the Asymmetric Environment Program Manager, is investigating technology needs and opportunities for asymmetric wargaming. During fiscal year 2000, several efforts were launched to extract predictive models from historical behavioral data and to explore more powerful and flexible modeling and analysis technology that could be readily applied to asymmetric conflict. This research is sponsored by DARPA is presented in 4 sections. Description and nature of asymmetric threat, DoD wargaming needs with respect to asymmetric threat, game theoretic and related approaches to modeling and wargaming the asymmetric threat, an outline of selected R&D needs for practical and rapid application of game theoretic approaches. And so this is all very strange, and it's weird to me that, is this his father? If so, does he work with his dad? Like, is he the one that's working at CISA? This is so bizarre. I wanted to just get this information out to you guys. This is what I was able to find. And I wanted to make sure I documented it before it disappeared. You know, that information, this is subject to change in the future. But I wanted to get this out. So that's all I have for now. This individual was involved in seemingly attempting to infiltrate Virginia-based militias to try to unite all of the Virginia militias to perform some weird DT act with money from Russia. It's just strange. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. Did we catch a glowy in the act? Let me know. Have a good day, guys.